Todd said, "Hey, Josh, how's the new job? Love all the work I've been doing over at A to Z Sports, and I've been already doing a ton of articles on the win, so make sure you check out A2Zsports.com. Check out the Commanders site. I'm the sole writer for the Commanders, so check out all of my content there. Haven't talked to you in a while. Commanders looked good yesterday. Jayden, Bill, Debo on defense, Quan Martin. Of course, Mike Samer still had a good little bounce-back game. We'll talk about him. Jacob Martin looked good. Awesome win. Now focus on Chicago. Let's go. We're definitely focused on Chicago. But we're also going to talk about this win because, like I said, this was needed in the worst way possible. If you lose this game, I would hate to even know what the stream would be like tonight. But it's not the case. Jayden Daniels fixes everything. We finally get this breakout game with Bill. Croskey Merritt, we've been waiting for the rookie. And, man, Cliff Kingsbury, if you're listening to me, just run the ball. We've been begging you to run the ball. Lord Jericho said, victory Monday. I love it. We love talking about some victory Monday. Got to talk about Bill. Kid had a day. Absolutely. Random said, yo, Josh, it's been a minute. Welcome back, Random. Good to see you. Good to see you. Spooky Lukey. I like that. Getting a little festive. We got the fall season coming. Spooky Lukey. Luke McCaffrey. Definitely going to talk about him. This is a guy that so many people wrote off this offseason. Like, oh, he's not going to do anything. It was a bad pick. Should have took Bucky Irving. Should have done this. Should have done that. And I told everyone, just give it time. It was 1 year. 1 year. Give Luke some time to develop, find his groove in this offense. And it took, Terry's contract situation. And now, of course, Terry's injury, Noah Brown's injury, and Luke McCaffrey getting those opportunities to show what he can do. That was a crazy catch. It was a great throw, but the adjustment, fighting through the contact, he might not get the best separation. He might not be the best route runner. But if you can win those contested, catches and you can win those battles down the field like that, Jayden Daniels is going to keep looking his way. I mean, it's three straight games now where we've seen Luke McCaffrey either score a touchdown, big kickoff returns, the downfield throw, like I said, right before halftime, which led, to more points. That's what we need to see from Luke McCaffrey. Just give it some time. Give it some time. I'd love to see him, having his little breakout party right there with Bill. Shot Patrol says, smash that like button. Definitely make sure you smash the like. Make sure you subscribe over on YouTube. Jordan McGee did really good. Club 100 TV says, I agree. And that's something I wrote about last week with the 3 things the Commanders need to do on defense. And one of them was play your young guys. I don't know if y'all listened to the Junkies radio, but Charles let me know that they were talking about that on the air, about that article I wrote about how Bobby Wagner played 100% of snaps against the Falcons, how Luvu played 100% of snaps against the Falcons. But where's Kane Medrano? Where's Jordan McGee? And it wasn't a ton of snaps, but Jordan McGee had a couple coverage plays, nothing crazy. But in that red zone, that one tackle, which ultimately set up the interception, Jordan McGee, I was like, man, this is what I want to see, that read and react, the ability to diagnose the play. You see how he kind of follows the running back, kind of knows where he's going, got in the backfield and shut it down. That is what I wanted to see from Jordan McGee. You drafted these younger guys. Joe Witt Jr., play him. I know Bobby Wagner's a Hall of Famer. I get it. I know he's got the green dot. He is the leader of the team. But still, you got to play some of these young players and just let them learn. It's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be perfect. They're going to make mistakes. We see Marshawn Lattimore making mistakes, and he's a veteran. Let some of these young guys, really get the opportunity to prove, like, this is why you drafted me. 3rd and long situations, 2nd and long situations, killing the Commanders defense. I want to see more of them, but Jordan McGee did look good. This isn't his first time, obviously, playing, but I feel like this is the first time where they trusted him in the red zone. That's big. That's usually where you see Luvu, you see Wagner. So I was surprised to see Jordan McGee out there, but I loved it. I feel like we've seen Ben Sinnott more too. 2024 class showing out minus Hampton. Yeah, Hampton did not make it, obviously. And then Ben getting his reps with John Bates' injury. And I know the receiving isn't there, and people are going to look at the box score and stuff like that. How many times have we seen Ben Sinnott just block his tail off in the run game? Even this week with John Bates back, they were like, hey, Ben, we're still going to put you out there. He's pulling across the line. He's clearing the way. There was one time the play where he got knocked. I'm pretty sure it was him where he got knocked into Bill in that fumble, where it just D tackle came through. I think it was Tart came through, knocked him off. But still, Ben Sinnott has been blocking his tail off. So shout out to Ben. Can't wait to see more of that receiving ability. Do you feel we keep Debo after the season and still draft a wide receiver in the first round? I think we definitely keep Debo. I don't know why people thought Debo was just not gonna be good. Like after hearing him talk about his, the pneumonia he had last year and stuff like that. Like, oh, people saying he's out of shape. Debo, like I tried telling y'all leading up to that whole trade when I was, breaking everything down, breaking the news. I told y'all, Debo, that's the steal of the offseason for me so far. A 5th round pick for Debo Samuel. Almost had 100 yards against the Chargers. Like this is a guy, big kick returns. He's scored many times already this season. We've seen him have big plays as that wide receiver 1 with Terry McLaurin out. Like I said, training camp, he was the guy for Jayden Daniels with Terry McLaurin sitting out, and then Terry gets hurt. Debo is back to being the guy once again. Noah Brown's out there. So I love seeing this. I'm glad that Cliff is starting to get away from those Debo runs. Just let him be a wide receiver that we know he can be. And I think you're seeing exactly what that looks like. I truly think Debo can be a wide receiver 1 on so many teams right now. So, of course, you get, Terry McLaurin for the next few years. Depends with that contract. There's an out. We're not going to get too much into it, but there's an out in 2027. But I think you want to get Debo for the next 2-3 years. And I mean, you still would. I say you still draft a wide receiver, first, second, third, heck, whenever. There's a lot of guys I like. Jerome Bernard. I like Boston. Obviously, Carnell Tate from Ohio State. This is a sleepy wide receiver class, but I appreciate the things I'm seeing out of Debo. I appreciate the breakout I'm seeing with Luke McCaffrey because that was the biggest worry for me. Secondary was up there. Safety room was up there for me. But if something happened to Terry, if something happened to Noah Brown, which happens all the time, who's going to be that guy to step up? And it looks like Luke McCaffrey is going to be that guy. And I think, Jalen Lane's going to be one of those guys that slowly gets, weeded in as well. Zach Ertz and Sinnott need to be incorporated more in the pass game without scaring Terrence. I agree for sure. I am a little bit surprised. Zach Ertz, I thought he'd have a little bit more production by now. I'm not saying he's like playing terribly or anything, but that connection was so strong last year, especially with Bates out. I thought Zach Ertz would, have like 5-6 touchdowns by now. I hope Ben can develop as a pass catcher because if he can, that will be lethal. And I think he will. I definitely think he will. They have to play more, says E. More younger players. Makes me wonder now if it's the coaches being lazy with allotting player snaps, like our man Bill, automatically giving vets more snaps instead of who's better. I think that's partially true because you just have to think about trust. Who do you trust more? Do you trust Bobby Wagner more or do you trust Jordan McGee more? Do you trust Bill Croskey Merritt or do you trust Chris Rodriguez more? Like someone that you've already seen in these situations. But that's what I'm saying. And I'm glad you said that because, it's not even just Bill. It's Jordan McGee. It's, I'm glad they started Trey Amos. I'm glad they started Josh Connolly Jr. off the rip. But some of these other young guys you drafted, I just want to see what they have. I don't want to, come back to it at the end of the year and be like, man, I wonder what Kane Madrana is going to be like. Maybe that was a bad pick. We don't know because we haven't seen enough of him to say, how we feel about him. But I'm glad you said that because I think they do. I think they definitely want to play younger players. But right now in the season, obviously you don't want to throw a young guy out there over a vet. They make a mistake that costs you a game. Then you look back on it and be like, man, maybe it was too soon.